Guys, welcome to Tariq's class. I hope you enjoyed the worksheet. So if you haven't done it, I would say there are 9 questions on the classwork math. You try to do that first and then you can watch the video to learn. So let's start. I'm going to go over the questions you have solved. So first of all, as you can see the circle, now the figure below shows a circle with a hole in the middle. So okay, we can see the hole in the middle. Now, the outer diameter of the circle is 1 1/4. So the big circle, the diameter is this one, 1 1/4. Okay, so they didn't write it there, they wrote it here. So 1 1/4 is the diameter. And the diameter of the baby circle is 1/4. Now, if you remember my video lesson where I said if you want to find the area of a circle, that's pi times the radius squared. So also, you have learned that if you want to find the shaded region, that's what they're asking. So the shaded is equal to the total area minus the unshaded. Now, how do I find the area of a circle? Pi r squared. How do I find the shaded? Total minus the unshaded. So let's find the total area, which is the big circle. Okay. What is the radius of the big circle? We don't know. We know the diameter is 1 1/4. So diameter is 1 1/4. Radius will be the half the diameter. So I'm going to write it into improper fraction first. So 4 times 1/4 plus the 1, it's 5/4. That's the diameter. If I want to find the radius, it has to be divided by 2 or times it by half. So that's 5/8. Now, how do I find the area? So the area will be pi 5/8 power 2. Okay, simple as it is. Now that's 5 square is 25. Square means you multiply the same number twice. 8 power 2 is 64, and then leave the pi here. Okay, that's it. This is the area of the big circle. Now let's find the area of the smaller circle, the baby one. So the diameter of the smaller circle is 1/4. Radius, how do I find it? Times it by half, you're right. So radius is 1/8. How do I find the area? Pi r squared. So that's pi times 1/8 square. That's 1/64 pi. Well, this is the area of the smaller circle. Now, how do I find the shaded, guys? What do we do? Add or subtract? Subtract, you're right. I'm going to do it here. So the big area, which is 25/64 pi minus 1/64 pi. I'm going to ignore the pi for the moment. Ignore it. So this is 25 minus 1. You know the common denominator is 64. So it's 24/64 pi. Pi, I'll just keep it there. Now 24/64 can be simplified. Okay, means you divide by the same number. Let's say I'm going to divide by 8 both. Divide by 8. So that's 3/8 pi. Now as you see, the answer is asking for the nearest 100. So it is asking for decimal. Now the pi means 3.14. And the 3/8 means 0.375. You can divide the 3 by 8. And you see 0.375. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it here on this corner. Okay. So 3/8, which is 0.375, times it by pi, which is 3.14. Now this multiplication, I talked about it in the video lesson. You can ignore the decimal, multiply. The reason sometimes they give you big multiplication. These decimal multiplications you should work on and take it extremely seriously. I'm just going to write the answer for now. It's 1.175. Okay, so that is the answer. Let's try question number 2 the same way. Now the area of the, first of all, the big circle, the diameter of the big circle is 2 1/2. I'm going to make it improper. So 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5/2. Radius will be half. So 5/2 times half, that's 5/4. How do you find area? Pi r squared. pi, whatever this radius, I'm going to put it here. Square means power 2, means you multiply the same number by itself twice. So that's 5 power 2 is 5 times 5, 25, 4 times 4, 16, pi. Done. This is the area of the big circle. Now we're going to find the area of the baby circle in the middle. So that's, again, diameter of the baby circle is half. Radius will be times it by half. So that's 1/4. And the area will be pi 1/4 power 2. That's 1/16 pi. So that's the area of the smaller circle. Now, how do we find the shaded, like the donut? From a full circle, if you cut out a circle in the middle, it's like a donut shape. How do you find that? Shaded equal to total minus unshaded. Remember that? So shaded, I'm just going to write it again, total minus unshaded. Okay? So now the total area is the big area. So that's 25. I'm going to scroll it down a little bit. Okay, so 25/16 pi, that's the big area, and the small area was 1/16 pi. We're going to ignore the pi, subtract the fractions. 25 minus 1 is 24, and 16 and 16, common denominator, we're going to keep the same. Now 24 and 16 can be simplified by 8, so that's 3/2 pi. That's actually 1.5 pi. Now they want the nearest in square inches. Okay, no, actually the pi, this time the pi is there. So answer is C. This is easy. This is in terms of pi. Okay, so now question number 3. The diagram represents the circle and everything is kind of same. Now the circle is just in a different position, but it doesn't change the fact how we find the shaded. Shaded is always equal to total minus unshaded. So total is the big circle. Let's work on that. The diameter of the big circle is 1 2/3. I'm going to make it improper. 5/3. So radius will be what? 5/3 times half. That's 5/6. Area will be what? Pi 5/6 squared. So that's 25/36. I'm just going to write it in the bottom here. So 25/36 pi. So this is the area of the big circle. Now let's find the area of the smaller one. The diameter of the smaller one is 1/3. It's already a fraction. So radius is 1/3 times half. That's 1/6. Just multiply the top and the bottom numbers. And area is, put a pi, and square means power to the 1/6. So that's 1/36 pi. Now what do we do? This is the area of the small one. You're right. So total minus the unshaded. So total is 25. I'm just going to write here on the side. Let's get some more space. So 25 pi over 36 minus 1/36 pi. We're going to ignore the pi. So 24/36 pi. That's divided by, we cannot divide by 8. So we can do by 12. Yeah, so let's say divide by 24 divided by 12 is 2/3 pi. Okay, so now they want it in terms of decimal. So 2/3 is around like 0.67. Some of the fractions you should know, like 1/3 means 0.333 repeating, 2/3 is around 0.666 repeating, 1/2 means 0.5, 1/4 means 0.25. These are the basic fractions you should know. Like 3/8 is 0.375. So here 0.67, I'm just going to round it, and times it by 3.14. And I showed you how the decimal multiplication is done. So you do this because practicing is important. So I'm just going to write on the answer. It's 2.093. So I'm just going to round it to 2.09. Okay, question 4 is a bit different. Now the figure below shows a circle with a circular hole inside. The outer diameter of the circle is 1 1/3 inches. The radius of the hole is 1/3 the diameter of the radius. Okay, so well, first of all, we know the big one. So let's find the big area. So the diameter of the big one is 1 1/3. Make it improper fraction. So 4/3. Radius will be half. So 4/3 times half. So that's 4/6. Okay, so all right. So 4/6 is the same thing. I'll just leave it as 9 right now. So area is pi 4/6 squared. So that's 16/36 pi. So the area of the big circle is done. Now the smaller circle, we don't know the diameter. So let's see what they said about it. So the outer of the circle is 1 1/3 inches. Okay, the radius of the hole is the inside hole, is 1/3 the diameter. So the radius is 1/3 the diameter. So we don't know the diameter, but we know the radius. That's 1/3 the diameter of the big circle. What is the diameter of the big circle? It is here, 4/3. And they said the radius of the smaller hole circle is 1/3 the diameter of the big one. So 1/3 of something, how do you find that? You multiply. So 1/3 times 4/3. Where I got 4/3 from? Is the diameter of the big circle. So the radius of the smaller circle is 1/3 the diameter of the big circle, which is 4/9. Okay, now we can find the area. If you know radius, you can find area. Just 4/9 square. So that's 16 over, that's 81 pi. Okay, 16/81 pi. So, well, we could also maybe simplify this one by 2, maybe by 4. We could simplify by 4. So I think that's when the denominator may match. So that's simplified by 4. So 4 divided by 4, 16 divided by 4 is 4. And 36 divided by 4 is 9. So still the denominators don't match. So what I can do is times it by what? Can I times this by 9 and 9, top and bottom? Well, I can do this step later. Okay. So 4/9 pi is the area of the big circle, and the baby circle is 16 pi. 16/81 pi. Now all we have to do is just subtract. So 4/9 pi minus 16/81 pi. This time the denominator was not same. Not to worry, we can make it same. Times it by 9 and 9, top and bottom. So what we get is 36 pi over 81 minus 16/81 pi. So 36 minus 16 is 20/81 pi. And now they wanted to make it into decimal. So 20/81, if I round it, if I think of 81 as like just 80, let's say, or close. So what happens is this is like around 1/4, like 0.25, and pi means 3.14. So if you multiply, that should give you the answer. It shows 0.775. Okay. Okay, number 5. So the diagram below shows the circle and it has a hole and everything. We did it. So what is this? The diameter of the inner circle is not given, which is half the radius of the outer circle. Okay, so diameter of the inner circle is half the radius of the outer circle. We're going to deal with it later. Let's see what they said. The radius of the outer circle. First of all, the diameter of the outer circle, the big one, is 1 3/5. It's right here on the bottom. So let's make it improper fraction. 8/5. Right? And the radius will be half of it. So that's 8/10. I guess simplify it to 4/5. Simplify means divide by 2 both. So 4/5 can be the radius. So the first answer, the radius of the outer circle, is 4/5. It's one of them, like here, this one. Okay, now the radius of the inner circle. What did they say about the radius? They didn't say the diameter of the inner circle is half the radius of the outer circle. Okay, so the diameter of the inner circle will be half the radius of the big one. What is the radius of the big one? It's 4/5. And half of it will be the diameter of the smaller one. So 4/10, so 2/5. These are the kind of tricks you should be good at for SHSAT. They will try to use words to make you confused. So 4/5 was the radius of the big one, but the smaller one, the diameter is half the radius. But the question is asking, what is the radius of the smaller one? So the radius on a smaller one will be always half of its diameter. I just have to do half again. So that's 2/10, so 1/5. Okay, so this one, 1/5. Now, what is the area of the outer circle? Means the big circle. So area of the big circle, you know, the radius is 4/5. So all we can do is pi times 4/5 squared. So that's 16/25 pi. Oh, so these are in terms of pi. That's amazing. So 16/25. So that's the third one. Okay, now this one's saying, fourth one, the area of the inner circle, we can do it here. Pi 1/5 squared, that's 1/25 pi. 1/25 pi here, so that's the fourth one. The pi is right next to it, so we don't write it. Now the area of the shaded region, remember, is subtract. So we do big one, which is 16/25 pi, minus the small one, which is 1/25 pi. So 16 minus 1 is 15/25 pi. That simplifies if we divide by 5. So that's 3/5. My bad, 3/5 pi. So answer should be 3/5. It's here. Okay, so that's the total. Okay, number 6. A commemorative coin. It's a coin is shaped like a ring. The outer diameter of the coin is this. Inner diameter is given. What is the area? Okay, this one is easy. So the big diameter is what? 3 3/4. Make it improper fraction. 15/4. Radius will be half. 15/4 times half. That's 15/8. Area is pi times 15/8 squared. So, but 15 square is 225, I guess. 8 square is 64 pi. So that's the area of the big circle. Let's find the area of the smaller one. Diameter is 3/4. Radius will be half 3/4. Area will be pi times 3/8 squared. That's 9/64 pi. Okay. Now they said, what is the shaded? What is the area and square of the converted coin? So the coin, this is the shaded area. So 225/64 minus, keep the pi, minus 9/64 pi. What is 225 minus 9? That's 216 pi over 64. If you simplify that, you get, you can simplify by 8. 27/8 pi. Okay, so now that you know how to multiply. Okay, well, 27/8, 8 goes into 27 about 3 times. It's like 3.375 pi. Number 7, a detective metal washer is shaped as shown below. So the diameter of the outer circle and the diameter of the circle. So, okay, so this one is easy. So let's find the big diameter is 2 1/3 here. So make it improper, 7/3, radius 7/3 times half, 7/6, area pi times 7/6 squared. So that's 49/36 pi. So now the smaller one, diameter is 2/3, radius is 2/3 times half, so that's 2/6, right? So now area would be 2/6 means 1/3. So 1/3 squared and the pi, right? 2/6 means 1/3. So that's 1/9 pi. Well, we could simplify that, could we? By 7, but no, I couldn't. So let's subtract. So this is the smaller circle area. So 49/36 pi minus 1/9 pi. So this one, we can make them common denominator, times it by 4. So what happens is 49 minus 4 is what? 45/36 pi. Well, we can simplify it by 3. So 15/12. We can do it more. Let's say we can do it simplify by 9. So 9 goes into 45 5 times, 36 4 times. 5/4 pi. Now pi means 3.14 and 5/4 means 1.25. 1.25 times 3.14. You do the math, the answer you get is 3.925. It's supposed to be that. Okay. Okay, number 8. Oh wow, the big diameter is not given. Let's see what's the case. Now the figure below shows a circle with a circular hole inside. The inner diameter of the circle is 4/5, and the diameter of the outer circle is 3 times the diameter of the inner circle. Okay. So, all right, so the diameter of the outer circle is just 3 times the inner circle. Well, we can find the diameter of the outer circle is 4/5 times 3. Okay, 3 times. So that's 12/5. Okay, that's the diameter of the bigger outer circle, means bigger circle. Radius is 12/5 times just half. So that's 12/10, which is 6/5. Simplify, okay? Now area is pi 6/5 squared. What's going on? All right, now that is 36/25 pi. Okay, let's go towards the smaller one. The diameter of the smaller circle is what? 4/5. You're right. Radius is, what do we do? Times half. You're right. So 4/10. We simplify, correct, for 2/5. Area is very easy. Put the pi, square the radius. Done. By now you should know that. So 4/25 pi. Now this is what is the shaded, so we're just going to subtract. So 36/25 pi minus 4/25 pi. There's 32/25 pi. Now pi means 3.14 and 32/25. If you do the division, the answer you should get is 4.0192, which simplifies to 4.02. All right, number 9. This one looks interesting. Now the diagram below shows a circular region with all this hole and stuff, so we know it by now. Now the diameter of the inner circle is 1/3 the diameter of the outer circle. Okay. Oh, this one, there's a trick. Now the diameter, we know the big circle, let's say this one is the big one, and the smaller one, the diameter, radius, area. This comes down to all this, right? So the diameter of the smaller circle, you already know it's 1/4. Let's keep it. Oh, no, sorry, that's the radius of the smaller circle. That's 1/4. Diameter will be double. This time we're gonna do a little bit reverse. Whatever the radius, I'm gonna times it by 2. That's diameter, remember that. 2/4 is 1/2. Okay, so now that's the smaller one, because remember diameter is double, so you have to times it by 2. This time they gave you radius, so logically you have to times it by 2. What did they say about the big diameter? The diameter of the outer circle, here, the diameter of the inner circle is the 1/3 the diameter of the outer circle. So the inner circle is the 1/3, means smaller, right? Smaller than the big one. If inner circle is 1/3 the diameter, bigger one, so the bigger one will be 3 times. Okay, so this is a difference you have to understand. So if smaller is 1/3 the big one, I can say it also big one is 3 times the smaller one. Okay, let's say you have $5 and your friend has $15. So your friend has 3 times more than you, or you can also say that you have 1/3 the money your friend has. Now, so similarly, so the big diameter will be 3 times, okay, 3 times, okay, so this is the 1/3 the diameter of the outer circle. Okay, so they're dealing with diameter. So the diameter of the inner circle is the 1/3, so the big one will be 3 times more. Remember, the diameter of the smaller circle is half, and the big one will be 3 times more. So it's just 3 means 3/1. So it's 3/2. The radius will be 3/2 times half, which is 3/4. And the area will be pi times 3/4 squared. So that's 9/16 pi. This one will be pi times 1/4 squared. So that's 1 over 16 pi. And the shaded, I'm assuming that's what it's going to come down to, 9 over 16 minus 1 over 16 pi. So that's 8 over 16 pi. That's half pi. Now let's fill out the blanks. Diameter of the inner circle. Okay, inner one is the baby one. So diameter of the inner circle is half. We have half. Okay. The radius of the outer circle. Radius of the outer circle is 3/4. We have 3/4. Now the area of the outer circle. So area of the outer circle is this one, 9/16 pi. We have that. So 9/16. The area of the inner circle, that's 1/16. We have that as well. And the area of the shaded, 1/2. Whoa, why 1/2 isn't there? Did I make a mistake? Let's take a look. Oh, there is half, but maybe 2 of the halves. Yeah, half again. So that's half pi. Okay, excellent job, guys. So I'll say you practice them again, the worksheet, right? This time try it on your own. And again, you have to keep practicing them. The best part about this online course is the videos and the worksheets will be there until the test with you. And you can keep practicing them. This is a very interesting topic, very important topic. So it's about reviewing over and over again. If you didn't understand much, I will say look at the video again, pause it, rewind, and keep trying. Good job, guys. See you in the next class.